Okay, this is a reaction video. 9 things Americans do that Brits don't. I've never been over there, so I mean, I've been to Germany, but I've never been to Great Britain. So I'm kind of curious about this one. See what they have there, we do that they don't.
Hello, I'm Lawrence and I'm on a quest to uncover all of the memos that Britain and America lost in the pond, and one of those memos pertains to the things we do as people. It turns out that there are just things that people in one country do that the people in the other country do not do. And today we're going to take a look at 9 things that Americans do that Brits don't, and take that title with a grain of salt, okay? It's very much a generalisation. Of course, many of the things on this list probably are practiced by some people, some pedants over in Britain. I said pedants, not peasants. But for the most part, on the whole, generally speaking, how many other ways can you say that? Americans do these things more than Brits. Now, if I'd have done this list maybe 12 years ago before I moved to the United States, there are some things I would have included that have since caught on in Britain. So, you know, baby showering or queuing up for the Black Friday sales or getting a coffee to go. So since there's more of a level playing field in regard to those things, I'm just going to leave them off the list. And given that we're all presently trapped in our bunkers, even the ones that...
This must have taken place during, let's see, this must have been done during the pandemic.
Did make it onto the list probably shouldn't temporarily, including this.
Smiles. Yeah, Americans will do that a lot. I've been smiled at quite often by a lot of people who I've never met before. They just smile at you and you smile back. It's something that we do sometimes.
Smiling at strangers, which I suppose is what I'm doing to you right now, so I'm a hypocrite in a way. And you know what, I think when I first encountered this is when you're walking along, say, a footpath, or you're in a parkway, and someone you've never met, maybe they've got a dog, they just look at you and smile. It sounds creepy when
It's kind of like a way of just acknowledging that they're there, that you see them, and you're smiling, that hi, you shouldn't have to do something like this, but say, like, I'm not planning on beating you up. I'm not planning on robbing you right now. It's just, it's just, hey, how you doing? And it is what it is. And you move on their life. They move on with their life.
I put it like that, and at first it was. I thought I was going to get mugged, right?
No, it's actually the opposite. Like I just said, it's why hey, I have no intention of mugging you today.
British people value their personal space, right? Don't enter that zone, and so
we just learned in another video that I did with Walter's World that Americans don't like that either.
Whenever that happened, it was a little off-putting, but I got used to it when I realised that Americans are just really friendly, and this is a good thing, right? And so I not only came to embrace this, but I started doing it myself, and people got a bit creeped out by the British teeth. I can't help that.
Yeah, there is something to be said about British teeth. It's not all bad, but there is something to be said about it.
It's just something I'm born with, and so you're going to have to accept it from now on. I must say, though, that during this sort of weird situation we find ourselves in, if anybody smiled at me while I was going out to take the trash out, I'd run for the hills. We don't have hills in Chicago, so I'd be lost.
Yeah, you can't run for the hills in Chicago.
Lost.
Hello. Well, British people don't say hello.
Similarly, which is a word I had to say about 10 times before I got right, Americans might greet you not only with a smile, but by saying, how are you? Or what's up? And these don't mean, are you okay? Or anything like that. It just means hello, right?
Yeah, and again, I just did a video with Walter's World about the don'ts of the United States, of the USA. And yeah, when we say hello, it's not necessarily you need to give us your life story. It's just hello. Or like, what's up? How's it going? That's just our way of saying hello.
In a way, it's sort of similar to how we Brits say, all right, and we're not asking if you're okay, we're simply saying hello. So in many ways, there are similarities between the two. I don't really know why that is. Are we just trying to soften and euphemize the word hello in the same way that we would with death or going to the toilet? It's really odd when you think about it.
Going to the toilet?
But we both do it. Should I start my videos with, all right, I'm Lawrence, and no.
If you did, I don't think anybody would. Why is he doing that? Nobody would do that.
What I will do is go on to our next entry.
Yeah, America. Look, when I was in Germany, they flew the flag there too. I saw a lot. Maybe it was during the World Cup of 2006. So maybe that's why they did it. But yeah, Americans do like to fly the flag.
Yes, flags. I did talk about this in a video just recently that, American families and houses and things like that are very prone to having the flag flying outside. And I found that it really doesn't matter which party you vote for or anything like that. People will still fly the flags regardless of that, particularly on July the 4th, but you will see it at all times of year.
Right now, we're coming up to a holiday, Memorial Day, which people are going to fly the flags, and yeah, July 4th is not too far away. We're going to fly the flags there too, but people fly the flags for no reason, and that's fine.
On numerous houses. And that's not to say that we don't fly the flag in Britain, but we usually reserve that for very special occasions like football matches, which are very special occasions.
Yeah, when the English national team plays, I imagine the flags come out in big, and then when they make it all the way, into the tournament, and yeah, the flags really come out in droves. And then when you lose in that tournament, whether you make it to the final or not, because nobody is more delusional about their national team, I think, than the English national team. You're eventually going to lose. We know you're going to lose. We know, even though you made it to the final of Euro 2020 and you're playing in your own stadium and you go to penalty kicks against the Italians, we know you're still going to lose. It's just in your nature. But that's just with the English national team. But yeah, flags come out. We got it.
These days, there's just sort of, maybe there's more pride in the flag here, or it symbolizes so much more. And
please, if you're in England, please like, share, and subscribe. I was just joking around. Please don't take that too seriously, what I just said.
Therefore, it gets used. And when I say it symbolizes so much more, I mean, it really does. You've got
my favorite football club, my favorite sports team is in England.
The 50 stars representing each of the 50 states, and then you've got the 13 stripes representing each of the original 13 colonies. And so it's symbolic in many ways, and it's part of the lexicon even. You've got words like Old Glory, Stars and Stripes, and things like that. And so it's a very pervasive part of American culture. Ah, yes, date format.
Yeah, this is one other thing. I noticed this when I went to some English websites and they had the date, it's 22/11/2020, which is November 22nd, 2020. You have the day, month, year, where in America we do the month, day, and year. We would put 11/22/2020.
Again, I've spoken about this before on the channel, but it's very much worthy of inclusion because when I first moved to the United States, it was very hard for me to get out of my head the British way of writing the date, which is to put the day first, the month second, and then the year. So it's sort of in order of unit, right? The smallest entity, the day, the second smallest, and then the third smallest, the year. Or is it to the largest? It's so hard to word that correctly without confusing yourself. I'm not a mathematician, and that was evident in my early days of trying to get my head around the American date format. It's not hard. I mean, you obviously just switch the day and the month around, but it's that thing you've known all your life. You're having to unlearn what you'd already learned. And eventually, working in an office every day for 5 years, the American way of doing things really did sort of cement itself in my head, and I came good on that front. And I think now if I were to move back to Britain, it'd be the other problem, and I'd have a hard time adapting. And if
you get used to doing things one way and then somebody does it another way. But I've kind of actually gotten used to both. I mean, I still do it the American way if I'm writing it down, but if I see it done another way, like the British way of doing it, I'm used to that too. I can just go, oh, okay, I did date, month, year versus month, date, year.
I tell everybody that, my birthday is 11/18/1981, they'll think I invented 6 more months and, will kick me out of the country again for forgery.
Well, they kick you out of the country for that?
That's not what that means. Falsehoods, just general falsehoods. Oh, and while I'm on the subject of birthdays, that brings me on to our next entry.
Yeah, tailgate usually means that before a sporting event, they gather around and have a party before the game out in their car called tailgate.
Tailgating was such an alien concept to me when I first moved to America.
They usually do that in front of sport, like NFL games and mostly college games, what it's known for. They usually don't do it during college basketball, to the best of my knowledge, because college basketball is usually played in the winter, and the people up north aren't going to stand out there and freeze their tuchuses off while they're cooking. Although they will do it for football games, so maybe they do it for basketball games. But usually for NFL, mostly for college, is what it's known for. Is you bring your car there or your van there, grab people, and you have a cookout before the game.
And in many ways it still is, and that's mainly because I don't own a truck and or go to sports events, because that's what happens when I talk about tailgating. I'm not just talking about, when you drive too closely behind another car. I'm talking about that kind of thing that Americans do at sports events outside of sports stadiums or anywhere else where they can park it, and they just casually light a barbecue and drink beer. And I mean, they look fun. It's just I've never been invited to one, so pity me. Come on, feel sorry for me. It's never happened. The best you're going to get outside of sports stadiums in Britain is people selling pirated DVDs. I've just realised, actually, those pirate DVD sellers they're probably struggling right now because A, there's a pandemic on, and B, no one uses DVDs anymore.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, there's not really a pandemic anymore, but people generally stream things nowadays. And if there's so many streaming services, if the thing you want to watch isn't on Netflix, it might be on Amazon, or it might be on Hulu or something like that. So streaming, or you probably don't use very many DVDs, so they probably are struggling.
Actually, I suppose nobody is doing our next entry, including me, so I'm going to leave this to Lawrence from Christmas to explain.
Refill drink. Free refills? Oh, I guess that's what they means by, like, if you go to a restaurant, you get a free refill for your drinks.
Anybody that's followed my channel now for a while will know that I have feelings on free refills. In fact, I did an entire video about it. And while they are all the rage here, and of course you'll find them in most fast food outlets and other places, there is...
I don't know if they're the rage, but they are something that's pretty nice. If you like Coke and you go and you order a Coke, they're going to fill it up for you when you get out. So you don't have to pay for anything extra. You just get a free refill. I know they don't do that over in Europe, and maybe that's a good thing. I mean, maybe they should do it over in Europe. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. It's nice. It's something I've gotten used to over here in the United States.
There's one clarification I have to make here. You will find free refills as an option in places like Subway in the United Kingdom. So in some capacity, America...
Okay, so you do have some of that stuff over there. So
has exported it, but it is by no means as universal in the United Kingdom as it is in the United States. And as I've said before, I think the temptation of knowing that I could get a free cup of pop on top of the one that I've already had is what made me give up pop.
See, notice he's starting to use the U.S. slang. I don't know when this was done, but he called it pop. I don't know if anybody in England calls it pop. I don't know if anybody in Great Britain calls it pop, but yeah, he's starting to use American slang.
In the first place. So I do have that to thank America for. Of course, if you are American and you have the willpower to stay away from the free refills, more power to you.
Yeah, one thing that Americans do is, look, when I was in Germany, I was at Mannheim, and they had a McDonald's there. And I went, and I just wanted a drink, so I asked for, they gave me a cup. And I was standing over there, and there was an ice machine there. And really, there were two, it looked like they were teenagers looking at it. They didn't know what to make of it. At least that's the impression that I got. They looked like they were afraid to touch it. And I just, like every American, I just stuck my cup in there, pressed the button, and, about filled it halfway through with ice, and then got my drink. And they kind of had a strange look. They maybe put a little bit of it, and then filled it all the way to the top. And that's just, I guess, different culture, different strokes for different folks. But yeah, Americans like a lot of ice, and we put ice in our water too. We put ice in everything.
Free refills or not, Americans do like their water to be very cold, and I'm not talking about their bath water. Can you imagine having an ice bath? Do they? That is weird. But they put lots of ice in their water occasionally, and
everything else too.
You'll find this happening in restaurants.
We don't put it in our beer though.
But people will do it in the comfort of their own homes too, and this was somewhat of an alien concept to me before I moved to the US. I think maybe it's because we live in a mildish climate in Britain, we don't feel the need to do that, and the water in Britain tends to come out of the tap quite cold anyway, so that usually suffices. But actually I have come to appreciate this one, because during the summertime in Chicago, or previously where I lived in Indiana, it gets very, very hot. Sometimes it can get over 100 degrees Fahrenheit, and if you go out for a run in that weather, and that's not me, I don't run. But if you do, you're going to
Yeah, the only time I run is if somebody's chasing me, and nobody's chasing me, so I don't run.
Perspire like crazy, right? So not only do you need just water in general, it is nice to have it with ice in it, because it cools you down. Like it's ice cold. And
yeah, that's what. Not going to disagree with that logic. It does cool you down.
You're catching your breath because it's going so dry from all the heat. They'll even buy bags of ice here in America.
Yeah, you can buy bags of ice. You can buy bags of ice anywhere. And probably in Europe. I don't know if I ever saw it over there, but yeah, you can buy bags of ice in Europe.
America, you can actually buy.
I mean, take it back. I just said bags of ice in Europe. I'm sure you can buy it in Europe. I don't know, but you can certainly buy it in the United States.
Bags of ice from the store, and I still don't know why people do that. I know because you have ice trays and you put them in the freezer. Am I missing?
Sometimes the water, the ice is better, better quality water from it's again different strokes, different folks. I've said that before. I'll say it again. I'll say it 1,000 times.
Something
so that you can have ice for a party.
So you can have ice for a party. That's true, but it's not. That's not always the reason for it.
Oh right, like a tailgating party, or just generally a party.
Any party.
Any party.
Another thing is, if your tailgating party, if you buy Coke off the shelf, or water off the shelf, something like that, it's not always cold. Sometimes it's basically lukewarm. So you buy the ice, you put it inside the container, like the thermos or whatever you're carrying it around in. Maybe not thermos is the word for it, but they have these containers. I forget what the word is, it slips my mind. You fill it with ice, you put the Cokes and then there, and it cools it down. So you're drinking cold drink.
In the summer.
Or winter.
Who has ice in the winter? I mean, in the drink.
Floridians?
That's true. Is it even winter in Florida, though, when it's winter here?
Yes, but no.
Not the same.
Now, public pajamas is something I've never partaken in. I've never gone out in my pajamas, but apparently people do, and he's seen them.
This one seemed really strange.
I'm assuming he's seen them because he's bringing it up.
For the first few months of living in America, people going out to the store in their pajamas and sweatpants and things like that. It's as if they don't care.
Now, I have done stuff in sweatpants before. That is true, but not. I don't. I'm not going to tell you what I sleep in, but yeah.
About what they look like while, traversing Walmart, which I can understand. It's not really something you'd find back in Britain. I'm not saying we dress our Sunday best to go shopping, but we at least make an effort, put on jeans and a t-shirt.
That's what I do. I don't put on my Sunday best, but I put on some clothes. Sometimes I won't wear socks. I'll just put on my sneakers on, or my trainers on, and without any socks on, and put on a shirt and shorts, and then go out and get what I need to get. And then if my hair's a mess, whatever hair I have left, I'll put a hat on.
You will see people going out in their gym jams, their jammies, PJs, right? And
pajamas, PJs, it's the same thing.
I'm not exempt from that, especially right now. I mean, I don't care I want people to avoid me, so of course I go out in my pajamas or anything. I went out in this the other day. These are.
You better not. I hope you didn't go into a bank.
Aren't my pajamas, that's just me looking like a Sith Lord. A dime store Sith Lord, but nonetheless a Sith Lord. And I suppose in many ways it speaks to that American tendency toward comfort. But this is not just a pandemic era thing. I mean, people have been doing this for centuries, probably.
Pajamas?
Yeah.
I feel like that started in the 90s.
So there weren't.
I don't even know if it's. I've actually never seen it. Something I don't do, and I don't know a lot of people that do.
People going in the 19th century going out with their sort of sleeping cap on and things like that to their local blacksmiths or whatever. That's it. Thank you for watching this episode of Lost in the Pond. Don't forget to follow me right here on YouTube so that my videos don't get lost in the pond. What are you laughing at? I know, it looked like a crotch chop. I didn't mean to do that. Anyway, so if you liked what you saw here, follow me on Twitter at Lost in the Pond US. You'll get a lot of these sort of weird factoids about my life here in America. Oh, and also, what you heard in this video, I talk to my patrons about all the time on our secret live stream.
Click like, share, and subscribe for Lawrence and Lost in the Pond. And please click like, share, and subscribe. Hey, look, for the people in England, what I just made a joke about, I know we play in the World Cup. I know we play in November. I know that you guys have probably a more successful national team than the United States. You play in a different region, a more difficult region in Europe. And I know all these wonderful things about the English national team. You're probably going to remind me if you guys beat us in November during the World Cup. But keep in mind, we've played twice previously in the World Cup, and you guys still haven't beaten us. So just keep that in mind. And yeah, you guys do have a delusional belief on your national team. It's just maybe it's in your nature. But here I am, probably I'm trying to dig myself out of a grave. Probably dug myself deeper into it. But hey, please click like, share, and subscribe. please. And have a good rest of your day. And thanks for watching.